In those early days, the strongest partner in Lancaster, Chester, and York County area was the Springs Mills.
Springs Industries is one of the great employers of our state and just gave back so much to the communities where they had plants.
One of the things I'll never forget, and I heard Ann say it no less than 20 times, by the sweat of their brow, we are where we are today. And I think that was a perfect recognition by the sweat of all the 35,000 employees. The family was able to do stuff for the community. And I think that's just an unbelievable story to tell people, and a learning lesson and a legacy that they're passing along.
Early on, the Springs Park was a highlight and a delight for all the mills and their employees. Going back as far as Sam White, who started the mills in 1887 and taught his young grandson Elliot that all the privileges and opportunities you have are because of these hardworking people in the mills. And this community and the people deserve your attention and your care. And he taught that to Ann and Sonny, and Ann taught that to her children.
They were instrumental in the growth of scouting in those early days. In addition to supporting the unit with volunteers and with resources, they actually built a number of scout huts.
Scouting was something that just took place there all the time. Meetings between troops, camporees, jamborees. It was just a great time, it seems, for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts to be flourishing throughout the late 40s and the early 50s. And Springs Park and the Springs and then the Close families were really a big part of being sure that they had a space of their own. Bill Close's speech to the Boy Scout Palmetto Council in '72, this is his draft. Scouting must continue to adapt to the changing scene if it is to remain relevant, if it is to continue to provide American young people the kind of valuable knowledge and guidance it has over the years.
I have had the privilege of being a Boy Scout 86 years. Camp Palmetto was organized in 1939 in the mountains of North Carolina. It had been used heavily, and the dining hall was falling down.
The executive board of the Palmetto Council decided that an upgrade was needed, and to upgrade a camp, substantial capital dollars are needed. And so they went out and they picked the best man for the job.
Who in the world will get to head up this drive? Well, the names came up with someone said we should invite Mr. Close from Fort Mill. Also, someone piped up and said, he won't do it. And that's where we Scout executives come in. We said, please, let's give him a chance to say yes. And he did.
The first time I heard Bill Close's name was on the nameplate at the dining hall at Camp Bob Hart.
That would have been one of the few things he'd have smiled and been very happy about, because he'd rather the chow hall be named after him than some big building in the University of South Carolina, I promise you.
In the 33 years after that camp reopened, over 30,000 kids went through that camp. It's not about learning to tie that knot or learning to be a patrol leader within scouting. It's about learning essential life skills that's going to really help carry them throughout their entire life.
I got involved in scouting in 1980 as an assistant scoutmaster, and one of the first couples I met was Bill and Ann Close. And Bill was very involved in our endowment funding.
One night, I heard a Steesville and my coder and I went to Fort Mill and visited Bill's widow, Ann, and told her we wanted to have an endowment in his honor.
Had it not been for the steadfast contribution of families like the Closes, we would not have been able to come through this and still serve kids the way we have.
Two values that I know that Ann Close held very closely was conservation and giving back to the community. I think those values align very closely with the Boy Scouts of America.
Her heart was always in the outdoors, and her passion was encouraging others to love the outdoors. Scouting was one of the things that just fit right perfectly with her mission.
Serving the community is something close to my heart. And I didn't start out with that mission. I just had been involved in Scouts, got married, had a son, wanted to get back involved, so I did. But through that, I learned the value of it. And I learned how much more it gives back to the server than the receiver.
The Greenway is a very important asset to our community, not only Fort Mill, but to York County, to all of South Carolina and the region. We saw a video of Ann Close speaking about the Greenway, and it brought the biggest smile to my face. She said, well, I had an idea, but my kids I didn't have any land. My kids had land. But we all know Ann and Bill and their legacy taught all the kids to be givers in life.
She opened the Greenway on Earth Day 1995. But when she was first talking about this, I think it was kind of unheard of. The Greenway was designed to get people outside and to get people to fall in love with the outdoors.
Nature is a great teacher. It calms people down. A lot of people who are in a classroom, you know, they can't focus. They're wiggling around. When you get them outside and you're doing more hands-on activities, they're better able to learn.
I really can't describe a thing that would be more like the Boy Scouts in this Greenway. I wanted to name it the Ann Springs Close Classroom because everything out here teaches you something.
Being a scout here at the Greenway meant that I had nature in my backyard. It was just convenient for us to do that, but also a great opportunity for us to build as young boys, learning new skills each day.
My favorite thing about Cub Scouts is it's really fun and active. You get to go camping.
There's so many fun things you can do, and you can do it with your friends.
We require service projects, scouting for food, litter pickup, projects at community partners such as churches and schools. I have a hard time believing that there's any other location in the state of South Carolina that has 100 Eagle projects in one location. Our Eagle Scouts have done about 75,000 hours worth of service to the Greenway.
The reason why I did a project at the Greenway in the first place was to give back to the same community that helped me bring me to Eagle in the first place. Without the Greenway, the Ann's Close family, this would never happen.
Mother, of course, didn't ever want her name on anything. She said it's a sin to be indoors on a sunny day. And she just loved the outdoors, so her legacy is this Greenway, and it couldn't be a better one for both.
I can't think of any family that has done more for scouting in the Palmetto Council than Bill and Ann and their children.
We are grateful for Ann Springs Close and her legacy in founding this Greenway and making this space for all of Fort Mill to share.
I'm not sure that there's anyone else in our community that has really helped to grow the community feel, to have the resources that they have and be willing to set those aside for others to enjoy.